What are you leaving behind? What do you own? And why do you own those things? Are they really important? Hi everyone, I'm Duda, a graphic designer on the internet. A while ago, I posted a video about trinkets, why we need them, why we collect things, and the relationship between graphic design and consumerism. If you haven't watched that, please go watch it either before or after this video. I think it doesn't matter. There are a lot of points touched in that video I may not mention here that are very important for the discussion. So also the comment section of the video is kind of awesome. Except for the one comment that said that my mom's house is ugly. You made my mom very sad, actually, because she read that, and I will never forgive you. In the video, I talk about the resurgence of trinkets as a way to comfort ourselves against the stress of adulthood and a form of escapism from a fast-paced digital life. Mind you, I never said that Gen Z invented trinketry, and probably neither did your generation, as I also argue that collecting is an ancient human behavior. I am against pointless consumerism. I personally don't find myself a highly consumerist person. I tend to think a lot before making a purchase. I also ask my friends what they think of it. Should I buy it? Should I not? But also, I am in defense of the fact that objects can have meaning beyond monetary value. I have been seeing this debate spark some heat up online lately again, especially after Kiddo highlighting trinket design as part of their 2026 trend report recently. Shout out Kiddo. And on this post by Studio Baseline, which, you saw that? That's us. Again, yeah, shout out Studio Baseline. So I thought, why not pick up from where I left? Because I like the discussion. That being said, I want to dive deeper on individual expression, trends, what even is trinket design, art versus things, and is there such a thing as conscious consumerism? Is art an excuse for consumerism? My therapist recently asked me the following question. What are you doing for yourself? That was a tough one. Do I even do anything for myself lately? I bought these pair of Doc Martens. I love them. I bought them because I think they look cool and they're pretty and they look very nice with all of my black dresses. And this one plaid skirt that I have that it looks really cool. But also, I live in Berlin. And I see a lot of people wearing boots like this. And my algorithm somehow shows me Doc Marten videos and ads all day, like all the time. And now I kind of want to buy another pair. Is this genuinely coming from myself? Do I need another pair of Doc Martens? Are you buying Sunny Angels because you want to heal your inner child? Or because someone told you that they bought Sunny Angels to heal their inner child? Don't get me wrong. Object attachment is a thing, and this comes from a non-judgmental place whatsoever. You know, it's a thing that I also question myself a lot. The discourse around self-expression and individual identity is not new. In 1931, the New York Times published an article on the difficult art of self-expression. The author states that there is no more difficult life in the universe than the life of self-expression, and argues that the difficulty comes from the fact that it needs an exceptionally wise man to know for certain whether he is expressing himself or not. Sounds a lot like the performative discourse that we have been seeing around TikTok lately. Yeah. For my own part, I have to confess that I am not wise enough, at least in my own case. If any reader of this article were to ask me, are you really expressing yourself in what you are writing at this moment? I should have to answer, I think so. I hope so, but I can prove it either to you, to myself, or to anybody else. Quotes LP Jax. I mean, take a look at the performative male spectacle. I do believe that they are living the hardest life out there. You know, struggle after struggle. Curtis Connor, my heart goes out to you. No, but for real though, are we all a bit performative? Whether we like something or we hate something. Do you know if that's genuine? I feel like I too personally am not wise enough to know. Regardless, when I look around and I see my things, it brings me joy and it reminds me of people and places and moments. My little record collection, for example, because it reminds me of my dad. And this little stupid thrifted Snoopy mirror because I like Snoopy, as well as the Snoopy mug I bought on a trip with my mom, and this Heineken print that I bought in Amsterdam when I was there with my sister, or this little cup that I bought in Sao Paulo when I was there to see Paul McCartney, also with my sister. Performative or not, the memories chained to these things, to these objects, are no one's but mine. Vendel Zylstra writes for the Phoenix News. The desire to present who you are internally to the world around you is very common among all people who live in community. Through your accessories and clothing, you can signify to others the kind of person you are.
I'm a real collector.
It's an easy discourse when it's tied to misogynistic roots. Labubus are pointless and stupid, but no one says a thing about action figures and owning 20 jerseys of the same team. When men buy stuff, it's considered collecting, but when women have hobbies, then it's overconsumption. One of my favorite YouTubers right now is the Queen of Vanilla Maze. Go watch my Vanilla Maze merch design video, by the way, if you haven't watched it. Why? She is very much into trinketry, mystery box, which I personally do not get the appeal. If you're getting a Labubu, get the Labubu that you want. I don't know, mystery boxes just make me very frustrated. But the point is, I don't think she's evil. I don't think she's the devil because she bought Labubus or Sunny Angels or because she collects trinkets. Is it overconsumption? Yes. But it seems like she genuinely enjoys trinketry and, that is part of her personal style.
They literally couldn't take it. Like, I would be broke, honestly. I would literally spend my last dollar there because they have, like, all the cute, like, blind boxes. They got all, like, good, like, vintage. Like, oh, God, it would be so over for me if I went to Japan.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you guys something. And that's like not even scratching the surface, I fear. I still have so much that I left in my childhood house in Brazil that eventually I'm gonna pick it up. But I have a problem. The point is, I don't think it's a devilish thing if I own more Beatles memorabilia than I actually need, because while I'm alive and breathing, these are not going to end up in a landfill. While if I had bought a Squishmallow or a Labubu or Sunny Angel or something that I don't care about, I gotta be honest, they would probably be stuck in a turtle's trachea right now. I also believe in nonconformism. Actually, let me rephrase that. Nonconformism is a thing. Why do I make myself sound kind of insane sometimes? Like, it exists. I don't know. I feel like I give like 6 months for Labubu haters to start carrying around Labubus because it's mainstream now to hate Labubus or whatever. We are just so weird as human beings. If you want to start something on the internet, talk about trends or design styles. I mean it. If you're in graphic design YouTube, which I assume you are if you're watching this video, you're probably seeing that Elliot is a cool guy video. Graphic design trend videos need to be stopped. It's a very funny video. He's a very funny guy, but also he has a lot of valid points. He talks about how the graphic design niche in content creation is saturated. I can't believe these words just came out of my mouth. And there's only so many design tutorials you can make to deliver to a very particular audience. You. That's why some people might just be starting to make things up and not putting a lot of effort into predicting trends or whatever. However, some of you are trend deniers for some crazy reason. Someone can be like, trinkets are trending. And then a bunch of people will be like, this is so 1994. Like, what? Yes, trends are cyclical. That's how trends work, I fear. The definition of trend is a general direction in which something is developing or changing. But also, on a more modern approach, a topic that is the subject of many posts on social media site or application within a short period of time. A short period of time. This period is getting shorter and shorter and shorter each day, and now we have microtrends. A microtrend, according to the Trend Bible, is a niche or industry-specific consumer behavioral trend which is mass market ready and actionable. So, cottagecore, coquette, tomato girl, strawberry dress, sardine girl, like, what the fuck am I even saying?
It's harder to trace where trends are coming from and why and all of that. Like often when it comes to micro trends, I think you would they typically, a lot of conversation takes place on TikTok, but I feel like a lot of the discussion about micro trends and their heyday was really about like, okay, we've identified this aesthetic, now we're seeing it on the runway, oh my gosh, like that's legitimizing it. But also, given that there are products, a lot of times like retailers would often kind of like buy into this, front this, and like that helps really proliferate these.
But microtrends itself might be turning into a trend. It's like an Inception-ass situation. Microtrends gained momentum post-pandemic when young consumers had extra savings, more leisure time, and a desire to explore various identities through fashion. However, the novelty and playful experimentation eventually led to consumer fatigue. Joan Kennedy explains to the business of fashion. Young shoppers are really looking to grasp onto something solid right now, noting an increased awareness that many trends felt goofy or even fake. She adds, people are talking more than ever about just this viral churn and how wasteful it is. Also, we tend to start disliking things when they become too popular because we just see them too many times. Y'all remember what happened to Anxiety by Doechii? Everyone was like, oh my god, release the song. Release it. Girl, where is the song? Where is the single? And then she did it, and everyone started hating it because it was already extremely overplayed, aka the TikTokification of music. And the same happens to graphic design and shows and films and books and whatever other media we can put out there.
Well, trendy. Not for me.
Returning to design trends. Just because something already exists or already trended doesn't mean it can trend again. For example, Elliot also pokes fun at the fact that maximalism has been trending for about 5 years on this video. Agree, but that doesn't erase the fact that we love maximalism, and we've been witnessing countless sub-trends emerging from maximalism in the past 5 years or so, such as kitsch design, Y2K, cybercore, and even trinket design, which is very cool. I think it is not a matter of questioning whether something is trending or not, but exploring our relationship with trends as a society. My friend sent me this, which made me LOL a lot because I agreed on a personal level. I have contributed to the just letters hate because that's basically the only type of lettering I know how to properly design. Well, that's a lie, but it's kind of easy. Here's the thing. I have tried to replicate the blobs of typography in countless projects, which I thought at the time they were pretty cool, actually. And some of them, honestly, still pretty neat. Now I look at them and I go like, okay, Pinterest, I'm probably going to have to eat crout eventually. Just letters are probably going to be like so back in less than 5 years or so, but it is what it is. So, does art lose its value when it becomes a trend? According to Live Good Body for my art broker, no. Art does not lose its value when it becomes a trend, but it risks losing its meaning when reduced to a trend alone. Trends are a double-edged sword. They democratize art, but they also risk prioritizing surface appeal over deeper resonance. Yet, history shows us that art's true power lies not in fleeting moments of virality, but in its capacity to reflect and challenge the complexities of its time. Mina Lee has an amazing essay-style video on whether originality still exists or not. She points out how everything today seems like a copy of a copy. Every film is a reboot now. Every song is a sample. Every red carpet look is a reference to some iconic red carpet look. Just like music, fashion, or pop culture, graphic design is heavily driven by referencing what already works. Because breaking news, the media and arts industry, just like any other industry, is fueled by many. Yes, that includes graphic design. advertising can be traced back to ancient civilizations. The Egyptians used papyrus to create sales messages and wall posters, while early forms of trademarking appeared in India as far back as 1300s before Christ. Throughout the Middle Ages, the practice of using signs and symbols spread widely among merchants and commercial establishments. However, the rise of modern consumerism can be traced to the period following World War II, when increased production, higher household incomes, and new mass media fueled a rapid expansion of consumer culture. In my video on why do we need trinkets, I briefly talk about how the entire field of design inevitably fits into consumer culture. It's bittersweet. I love making things, but at the same time, am I contributing to over-consumerism? Again, I'll make the same point I did in the first video. It's too easy to demonize objects as if they don't hold any emotional or cultural value, but they do. Then I go on to talk about some less harmful alternatives to trinket consumption, like thrifting or recycling and repurposing things that already exist and turning them into trinkets, or buying stuff from actual artists more often than from huge manufacturers. Like these amazing ceramic pieces from my friend Ellery. Yes, I am unshamedly plugging my friend in this video because she's amazing and she's an amazing artist and her pieces are out of this world. Her Instagram handle is made by Ellery, so go check it out. Creating tangible things is not the villain here. And neither are trends, but our relationship with consumption is. And you know, I say this while pointing a finger to myself.
Because I collect tote bags.
Culturally, trends are very important because they reflect and shape a society's evolving values, behaviors, and collective identity. This is a question that I don't know the answer to, but analyzing all of the current trends, what does that tell about us as a society? Turns out experiencing design outside consumerism is borderline impossible. I low-key cannot think of any other example besides like informational signage that you see on streets and airports, or just art. But we can still experience design outside social media and notice how valuable graphic design is to tangible things. You know, those things that can hold memories and feelings and meanings. Now let's talk about the essence of the trinket design style. Trinket design is built around small, object-based motifs that feel collectible, archival, and almost taxonomic. I think it's less about collecting cute bibelots and more about creating layouts that resemble personal, curated collections that can be displayed in a cluttered way or not. The result is a visual language that feels rich with personality. I personally believe that the key word to trinket design is personality. Without it, it just becomes an empty concept, you know? Some examples kind of remind me of that 2000s teen magazine editorial layout feeling, which is very nostalgic and again taps into personal identity and curation. It kind of makes it feel like we're the chief editor of our own magazine. So in a way, taking us back to our childhood. Ultimately, trinket design invites us to see personality and story in things. This year, the singer Ashniko dropped the music video for her single Trinkets, and directed by Leah Ismaili, the video is full of lush colors, intense textures, and extreme visual clutter, which I'm obsessed. In some shots, you notice the presence of the editorial analog aspect and the grid layout in the way the trinkets are displayed. The trinket aesthetic is part of yet another ramification of maximalism, the design style that has been trending for 5 years. In conclusion, trinkets bad? Design bad? Never, at least for me. I am an optimistic. I have to be, okay? It is winter. It's starting to go dark at 3 p.m. It's already dark outside. And it's the middle of the afternoon. Don't expect too much from me. I FW with trinkets for real, even though honestly I don't own a lot of stuff. The trinkets that I have are like enough for me to relate to them on an emotional level, and that's enough for me. I know we look at the things we own every day, and that can make us desensitized. But sooner or later, you'll remember that objects can carry meaning, memory, and identity. At the same time, appreciating the beauty of trinkets doesn't mean ignoring the environmental or societal consequences of consumerism. We can celebrate the charm of these objects without constantly buying more of them or thinking we need to buy them. The trinket trend invites us to look closely at what we already own, to value the stories behind our things, and to resist trends not by rejecting them or villainize them, but by embracing only what sincerely resonates with who we are. Before we wrap up, I'd love to invite you to explore my upcoming project, The Ugly Diary, a month-long series of personal posters created to challenge traditional ideas of beauty. Throughout December, I'll be sharing one poster a day on my Substack, each paired with an essay that dives deeper into the themes behind it, such as self-esteem, ego, rebirthing, self-image struggles, and much more. The link is in the description below if you're interested, and it's totally free. You don't have to subscribe to anything, just see my art. What are your thoughts about this? Am I too optimistic? Do you still think trends hold an empty value? Are you the kind of person who holds sentimental value to things? Let me know in the comments. If you watched this far, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more takes on